What's going on, BookTube? Today I'm going to be doing a really late November wrap up and then also talk about what I'm doing and reading here in December. And sorry the video is coming so late. It was just a really busy past 6 weeks, I'd say. I was on my OB-GYN rotation, and like I said, it was busy. We did 12-hour shifts every day with a 24-hour shift thrown in there every now and then. And it was fun. Like, I got to deliver a lot of babies. I think I got like 6 babies overall. And that was really exciting. It was so cool to actually help bring life into this world. And I think it's a really good skill for any doctor to have in general. I think they should know how to do that. And having hands-on experience and actually doing it is a lot different than just like knowing the theory of how to do it. So I'm glad I got a lot of practice. I did not have a lot of extra time on my hands at all. So as far as November goes, you know that my plan was to read Brian Lee Durfee's 5 Warrior Angel trilogy. And I felt like I did pretty good about it. The first book, Forgetting Moon, I knocked that out. I'm not going to talk about it much because I have a whole video doing a spoiler-free review on the Forgetting Moon. And I'll let you check that out. But needless to say, it was a great book. One of the most underrated fantasy books out there right now, I would say. And he is fully immersive in his storytelling. You feel like you're there in the Five Isles. And if you're a fan of George R. R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire, I think you would enjoy the 5 Warrior Angel series. As far as the second book goes, Brian Lee Durfee continues all these things, and he really, you could tell this is not his first rodeo now. Like, he is a lot more skilled in his writing. The characters are fully fleshed out, and they are consistent in their actions. Like, what you would expect them to act is how they act without being predictable, I guess. None of their actions in the second book don't make sense. They all make sense based off of what you know about the character. And I think that's something that he struggled with for between the quarter mark and halfway mark in The Forgetting Moon. It was my one complaint about The Forgetting Moon. Though the one negative thing I have to say about The Blackest Heart is actually what most people complained about with The Forgetting Moon is it didn't feel like a story in itself exactly. It felt like a part of a bigger whole. And I disagreed with a lot of the critics with the first book, and I thought it was a complete story. Like, it had the different arcs, and even though not all of the questions were answered and the mystery's not finished, I felt like the arc was completed for several characters, with some leaving on cliffhangers for us to find out in this Blackest Heart book. But The Blackest Heart, I don't feel like had those story arcs as developed. It did seem like we took off right from where The Forgetting Moon left off, and we ended like in a good spot for The Lonesome Crown to wrap up. So that was my one complaint, but it was an excellent book. Still highly recommend. And I guess that brings us to The Lonesome Crown. I did not get to finish this book because I finished the Blackest Heart at the very end of November. So I would say that I have started it and I'm loving it because I'm sure I'm going to, but I haven't even gotten it yet. I've had a real struggle finding this book to pick up. I went to Barnes & Noble's because I had a gift card and I was going to pre-order it actually. But they said they didn't even have the option to pre-order. So I was like, okay, I'll just listen to it on Audible. Went for Audible, and I was like, oh no, like, it's a newly released book. Maybe they don't have it on Audible yet. I couldn't find it. So I eventually just ended up searching, and I got it from Target. I pre-ordered it from Target. But on the shipping date, on its release date, not only did I not get it, I didn't even get it shipped. It was delayed. I'm sure it's not a production issue. I'm sure it's more of a supply line issue. But I never even got the book yet. So I'm still waiting on The Lonesome Crown to finish up the 5 Warrior Angels trilogy. But I'm so excited to wrap this series up. It's been a great series, and I look forward to continuing it when I get the book. So that's how November went. So as far as December goes, if you've watched my channel, you know that November was originally supposed to be the month I start the Farseer trilogy, and Discworld. That was my big goals for the month of November. But the Five Warrior Angels trilogy kind of took that over. So in my mind, I was just going to start that in December. But I'm really low on my Audible credits, first off. And then second off, I've kind of built up a backlog of books that I actually have already at my disposal to read. So instead of starting the Farseer trilogy and Discworld, I decided I was going to get through some of the books I already owned. And one of those books was the first one I've already started and am almost finished with, which is The Winter King by Bernard Cornwell, which is an Arthurian story told through a different point of view with really cool twists on it. And it is Arthur like I have never read it before. And something that even surprised me more was later, after I've already started and am in the middle of this book, I was like, man, this is a amazing book. How have I never seen anything from this author before? And to my surprise, he is the author of The Last Kingdom, which is a series on Netflix I've already watched. And I didn't even know it was based off a book, let alone being written by Bernard Cornwell. So, and from what I understand is The Winter King and the Arthurian story isn't as popular or good as The Last Kingdom, his Saxon stories. So my mind was kind of blown that this book is so good so far, and it's not even the best one he has out by public consensus, I guess. So I'm stoked to finish up this book, and then I'm even more stoked to start his most popular series, which I've already seen a little bit on Netflix. But yeah, so it's going really good so far with The Winter King. After I finish that book, I plan on focusing on sci-fi for the rest of the month. I don't know how many books I'm going to be able to get through. Since I've been so busy, I probably will only be able to finish one or two. But I do know that the first book I'm going to read after Winter King is going to be Empire of Silence by Christopher Rucchio, I think is how you say it. But essentially, I've got the first two of his books in this series. And from what I hear, I think he's supposed to be finishing this series up in 2023. So I would love to get to the point where if he does put it out, I can finish up or get caught up and then finish the series next year when he drops his last book. That is if I like it. Who knows? I might start it and hate it. But from what I hear about the story, I am going to love it. And then after that, like I said, don't know if I'm going to be able to get to a third book this month. It's been a busy and slow start. So, but if I do, I'm going to continue with science fiction. And I'm really thinking between Project Hail Mary and Jurassic Park. And I think if this was just me by myself, I'd probably go with Jurassic Park. I would love to see how the story started. I loved Jurassic Park growing up, and I would really like to read the book it was based off of. But I have a friend right now who's actually in the middle of reading Project Hail Mary. So I thought it would be really cool to be able to kind of like talk about the book with somebody in person, kind of. So maybe I'm going to do Project Hail Mary next. That is if I even get to these books at the end of the month, by the end of the month. I have no clue because I just don't know how much time I'll have. I don't know if I'll be able to finish them. But with that being said, that brings this video to an end. It's been a crazy past 6 weeks, and I appreciate everyone hanging on for the ride. Oh, and I didn't even throw out there that we hit 300 subscribers during this kind of period where I haven't posted a video for the past 3 weeks. So thank you everyone for subscribing. It's exciting to kind of see the channel grow, and I thank you for your support. I'll be back soon with new videos, and I'll keep them going. Hopefully more consistency, more consistent now that OBGYN is over. And until the next video, I hope you're out there reading cool new books and exploring cool new worlds. And I'll be back soon. Thanks for watching.